Welcome to All Things Retreat Podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show today. We are going to be talking with Stacey Weber, and she is the founder of True You Consulting LLC. She's an inspiring and passionate speaker, intuitive, transformational life coach, retreat leader, and sales trainer. She's the creator of Unleash Your Sales Potential program and Awaken Your True You retreat. Dare to life your dream. Oh, live your dream life. Is it dare to life? Dare to life, live your dream in life and business. I think that's a spelling error. She has over 34 years of experience in sales and sales leadership and sales training. Stacey's also a certified life coach and a certified angel guide. She specializes in working with women to create unstoppable mindset of unlimited possibilities. Using her True You success path, she guides women to align their mindset, habits, and beliefs with their life's vision to create a thriving business and flourishing personal life. Professionals leave her programs inspired and excited to use her keys to create their limitless life in all areas. Welcome to the show, Stacey.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad we got you in. I've been excited to have you come and share all your wisdom. So I met you through Polka Dot, right?
Yes.
That's a women's networking organization that we both belong to. And they did a summit. I believe they do a couple a year, 2 different locations. And I'm fairly new to the organization, but you were one of our main speakers and I loved it. Awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So jumping in, and then we sat next to each other and then, we were BFFs.
It was meant to be.
That's right. So let's talk about retreats since most of our listeners are retreat leaders. What got you started in doing retreats?
Well, as a transformational intuitive coach and also my background in sales training and management, I know how important it is to have not just events like a retreat or a training, because people can get a lot out of a 1-day, 2-day training, but what happens after they leave is so important. And so, and also, having that time that whether it's, I like to do like a 4 or 5-day retreat, because what happens in that type of environment is they leave the real world behind. They just get to focus on themselves. And I always encourage people to not look at your social media, don't have major conversations with family members and friends, just be here. And that is when the magic happens, when people really tap into who they truly are. And that's why my retreats are called True You, to find that grounded space. And we were talking about right at the beginning before we got on the call, is taking that breath, taking time to breathe that brings you back home to who you truly are, which is calm and confident and really trusting yourself. And so that's what I love to bring into my retreats, is having you really touch base with the truth of who you are, which a lot of times people don't know. And this gives them the ability to connect with that your person.
Well, let's talk about the days, because you mentioned 5 days. Let's talk about that structure. A lot of people can do 2 nights and 3 days. They start, and if you're a new retreat leader, that might be a good way to get your feet wet and get things figured out of how you want to do things. Mm-hmm. But when you start talking, there's different kinds of retreats. We've had lots of those conversations on this podcast. But when you're talking about transformational work, if that's what you're planning on doing, I feel like, don't you feel like they have to go a lot deeper? So what do you feel? I mean, don't you think it takes them about 2.5 days before you feel like they're ready to really start the transformation part of things? I don't know.
Absolutely. Um, to me, one of the most important things that I do at the beginning is most of the time people don't know the other people coming in. And that's a fear. And they know that they're going to go deep in one of my retreats. And so, how do you take away that fear that, oh my gosh, are they going to judge me? Or, what are they going to think if I really share what's happening in my life or what's happened or all those things. And so I like to always start with a circle of trust. So I create a space where people feel really comfortable with just being them,
Mhm.
just telling the truth, being so truthful to themselves. And when people share that, then it allows others to do the same. And so I always start there and try to it's like baby steps to digging in deeper and going in deeper, starting with, what do you truly want? What do you want from this? The next 4 days, you're investing in yourself. And when you do that, it's time to be like as open as possible. And so that's why I love doing different modalities from,
Mhm.
meditation and journaling. I think journaling is so important. It's
Yeah.
reflective time, right? And sharing, but then also doing, I love doing sound bowls. I love breath work is just one of my favorite things to do because it really opens you up to things that you don't even know is that's there. And I like that to do that more at the towards the beginning because then you can unpack it, like what showed up. And it takes time to really take it. So, like you were talking about the 2 day retreats, and then comparison to like 4 or 5, you need to unpack it. And if you go in 1 day or two, sometimes you're not able to get far enough to where at the end they're like, I get it. I see it. I
Yeah.
feel it. I see where where the change needs to happen, and sometimes that can happen within the retreat, but then it's the after that's really important as well.
What do you think about, let's talk about pre-retreat work. Do you do any of that?
Hmm. Absolutely. So I always like to send out a questionnaire on, what is your expectation on the retreat? What are they expecting to get? What might be a fear that they have before going to the retreat? Asking them really deep questions of like, what would truly make you happy that you would love your life? Really, having them tell you what's most important to them and then having them fill that out, but also having a call with them. Let's talk. Let's get to know one another. Tell me about yourself. Let me tell you about me and why I do retreats. So then when we get to the retreat, they're like, okay, I know Stacy. She knows what's going on with me. And so we've got a foundation before we even step in the door.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, let's talk about post-retreat. I mean, how do you feel about that?
To me, if you don't do anything post, I think you may be stopping some of that transformation because people are ready. I've seen this so many times. They'll go, I'm excited. I'm going to start really, I'm going to do meditation now. And then they go home and then all of a sudden life is still the same at home. People are the same at home. You've changed, but unless you have some type of program that's at least 6 months, people it's very easy for them to fall backwards. So I love to do like a 2 call a month kind of post retreat where it's like, let me help you really integrate what you've done into creating some practices in your life, whether that's meditation, whether that's journaling, creating intentions every day, and how are you handling it with people in your life? Like, that's a big one. What
Yeah.
about your relationships? And so they have the space to be, again, with the same people, very open and honest. Hey, I went back and this is what happened. And then we work through that. I'm coaching them, but also they're seeing how, have they moved backwards or are they really integrating what they wanted to do within, the retreat that we did. It's
Yeah.
so powerful. It really makes a difference.
Let's shift a little bit to the sales piece since that's one of your geniuses. Do you upsell at your retreat into that, or is that included?
Um, I always do the pre, the pre one. That's just included in the retreat. Usually what I do is at the very end, I'll go, look, you've come a long way. We talk about what has transpired, what has come up for you, and how my goal is always to help you integrate this because there's a lot that's come up. And so that's how I share it. I go, this is for you to make sure what's your investment, you're going to continue on so you can have the life and business that you desire. And so I think pretty much most everybody does it. I make it something easy. People go, how much time is this going to take? If
Right.
you have 2 hours a month, then there's a communication also that you have, whether it's meditation, some extra stuff that will help them, and it's reasonably priced. You
Right.
create something that's reasonably priced and doesn't take a ton of time. Most people are like, I'm in because they
Yeah.
know they don't want to go backwards, right?
I call that an easy yes offer.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so it really is because you're like, I want to help you. This is
Yeah.
for you. And you can choose to do it on your own. And maybe you're like, yeah, I can do it.
Mhm.
Fabulous. But a lot of times it's like having that support. And then people are so bonded with the people at the retreat. They're like, oh, I want to stay with these people. I
Yeah.
love these people.
This is
Right.
my new
Yeah.
tribe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they become lifelong friends.
Right. I love
Yeah.
that piece. I've connected over the years so many people that maybe I didn't make a dime off them, and they did business together and they were great. And I love that. It's like,
Yeah.
it wasn't about the money. Connecting those people mattered to me,
Yes.
and they became lifelong friends. And I,
Yes.
yeah, anyway, I joke that my claim to fame is I set up 14 couples over my lifetime. So
Wow.
that's 28 people that got married. And as far as I know, none of them are divorced. So
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
I got energies that I can see work together. So I do that for people too. But people, when they hear that, they're like, "You're not a relationship coach?" I'm like, "No, are you kidding? I got married 4 times. Jeez, I'm not bragging, but just saying, I did better for others. But I have a good one now, almost 24 years. So it's all
That's
good.
awesome.
But yeah, I struggled myself. But anyway,
We
yeah,
learn. We live and we learn.
right. That's right. I know.
Yes.
That's that we hope, right? That's what we hope we live in. Where I feel like,
Yes.
okay, I'm an old lady now, so I'm not going to act like an old lady, but hey, I got a lot of wisdom behind me in a lot of situations. But
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
several
Yeah.
ex-husbands. But anyway, we won't go there anymore. Okay, so let's talk about some of the key aspects of retreats that need to be incorporated to have attendees get the results from the retreat. And we've talked a little bit about that, but let's dive a
Yes.
little bit deeper about the results, because I think if you're giving people results when they're coming, and I love that you had talked about their expectations earlier on before they come, because their expectations and what yours are may be completely different. And I just want to add, that's where in your promotional and marketing materials, a retreat leader needs to be very careful what they promise, because you need to make sure you're delivering all of that at your retreat, so that their understanding is, this is what you're getting, this is what you're leaving with, this is what I'm offering,
Right.
and all that's so clear. But what are your thoughts?
Right. Well, I love this conversation because number one, as a retreat leader, you cannot take responsibility for someone's results. I mean, yes, you want them to get results, but my point is they have to be open enough to do it. And some people I've had retreats where some people are like they shut down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was one of my 1 day retreats, which I was really surprised, but
Oh,
that's their thing. You know what I mean? But my point is they're going to get what they put out. They're going to
yeah.
get whether they're open. And that's why that pre stuff is
Mhm.
so important, because you want them to have clear expectations. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lead you. I'm going to take you down this path, a step by step
Yeah.
path. And that's super important. Um, but also to go, this is your retreat.
Yeah.
What do you want? Right. And always make it invitation. There's never a have to,
Hmm.
right? This is an invitation. If there's any part that you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to do that. And one other thing that I think is really key, and I think sometimes retreat leaders want to give so much, Holly, that they don't give enough downtime. Because
Oh,
I've been to
agreed.
retreats where we're going, going, going. And it's like, I just want to take a breath. I just want to
Mhm.
have, maybe an hour or an hour and a half just to sit, to meditate, to go to sleep, to journal, or just sit in the sun.
Or
And
in
so
nature, you're usually taking them to a beautiful place and you want to
yes,
go and enjoy it at least. Right.
absolutely. Sit in the pool, whatever that is. And so I always say, give them space. They need space to integrate. They need space to have
Yeah.
fun with the other people there. That's part of the whole experience. So
Yeah.
don't put too much in, don't put it so packed where they feel like they're tired when they go home. And that's
Yeah.
not what you want. This is to I mean, depending on your retreat too. But I think with any retreat, you need to have that downtime to integrate, whether it's a sales training, like you're creating a vision and a business plan.
Yeah.
People need that downtime to where when they go home, they're like, I feel so full, but I feel relaxed. I think that's super important.
I call that work from rest.
Yes.
And then you're ready.
Yes.
Right.
You, when you're relaxed, more comes forward too,
Yeah.
instead of like pushing, pushing, pushing. And that's what normal life is, right? That's what, society keeps pushing us to do. And the
Yeah.
retreats allow that space and time for yourself. Yeah.
So let's get real raw and real here. This is not my funnest thing to really talk about, and definitely don't want to bring a negative aspect. And this is a learning podcast too, where I want people to understand, get these tools and ideas that they can go out and make better retreats. So let's talk about that one person that can just run it for everybody. Let's talk about what you do to handle, if that's happened to you, number one. Number two, if what you do, if you can see that red flag prior to, by doing that pre-work before, sometimes maybe somebody wants to back out themselves, and do you want to be so attached to their money that you're going to have a bad experience with them at the retreat, and so is everybody else. So
Yeah.
that, and then, or that none of the signs, none of the red flags came up until you got to the retreat. And then I want to almost add, like, that should be in your contract. How you handle that should be in your contract that they sign, because then I feel like
Hmm.
the solution's already there. So you talk about that, all those things. Sorry, that was a lot.
No, that's okay. So I had just mentioned this, the gal, it was a 1 day retreat. That
Uh-huh.
was more like of, if you've never gone to a retreat, here's, a piece
A
of
day
it. So
treat.
you can, yeah. And so, like I was saying, this one gal, she had been to some other programs and she had worked with me one on one in sales, but this was different. This was going inward. And she came because she wanted to know what it was all about, but wasn't quite sure. So again, I saw I could have maybe gone, okay, let's talk, but really know, what this is all about. So she knew. But what I found is that we were going deep and she didn't want to go deep.
Mm,
And that's when she just kind of, instead of, because we were doing lots of sharing and we were doing meditations, and she came to the point where she just stopped and she didn't want to share anymore. And so the energy kind of went down, but it didn't ruin the retreat or anything.
right.
And I did, uh, so I could tell that something happened. And I
Yeah.
actually had a call with her afterwards, because I had a call with everyone. I said, want
Sure.
to have a call, because it was a 1 day retreat. It wasn't like the 5 day. So I
Right.
didn't have, it was more like, if you want to come to this, then you
Yeah.
might want to come to my longer retreat. So I had the call and she just said, I just shut down. I mean, it was more, and she didn't want to really talk about it anymore. So it's like I just let it go because
Right.
she wasn't ready. It was more inner work than she really wanted to delve into, I
Sure.
think. And that was okay. It's like I didn't
Yeah.
make her wrong,
No.
because there's nothing wrong with it. It was just that she wasn't she wasn't ready and didn't know really what to expect from the inner work. And
Yeah, but I'm talking more about the person that's a total challenge. Like
yeah, that I haven't had that. That's
causes
the
problems,
only
causes the energy.
no. I haven't had that, thank goodness.
Good.
That I haven't had. I've had people say they're going to come and then they didn't, which I think was the best thing. You
Yeah,
know, I look back and go, that's probably wasn't going to work out
right.
as well as I thought.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think getting real, that's why that pre-work and getting to know them. Have you done retreats? What kind of inner work have you done? I think that if that's the kind of retreat you're doing,
Right.
that would be important. And the expectations, like you were saying at the very
Mhm.
beginning. If someone's doing like, hey, we're going to build a business plan, that's a whole nother vibe. And
Yeah.
not necessarily are you going deep.
Right.
But when you do retreats, that you're looking at emotions and feelings and stuff that's happened in your life that maybe triggers come up. It's like you people have to be ready for that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I mean, there's just so many different things you can do with them. But I feel like as a retreat leader to protect yourself, it needs to be in your contract how you're
Yeah,
handling that. And they
yeah,
need to sign it. If they don't
yeah,
read it, that's on them. But I think,
yeah,
just to protect yourself, it's you pray it never happens until then maybe it will. And that you just want to know ahead of time, like, how would I handle that? Because I think a new retreat leader, it could really change things. And there's a lot of people too that are type A personalities and they'll come and want to control everything. And it's like, you're a
yes,
guest, I'm leading
yes,
this. And it's like, step into that leadership role where you need to kindly and softly and gently handle it. I
right.
think too, if you're going on a longer one, that's why it's nice to have a buddy to help you, have somebody there that knows you,
Hmm.
has been to your retreats before, that you can lean on a little bit. I think that's really important as well. So the ratios, don't have too many for the ratios that you have there without having some help. If you're doing, I mean, what would you
Yes.
say a good ratio would be?
You have more than five. I think you need other people. You need other. I didn't do um, the 1 day retreats I did by myself. The 5 day retreats I had other people that came in and did parts of it, and also some of the food. I mean, you can't do it all yourself. I
Mm-mm.
mean, there's no way that you could to have a retreat that's really uh, valuable with the
Right.
food and the ambiance
Yep.
and just the whole thing. You need to have other people. Absolutely.
I agree. And you just need to know that ahead of time and budget it into your whole. Don't ever price
Absolutely.
a retreat until you have all of your numbers together and you know what it's costing you and you're not working for free or going in the hole.
Absolutely.
I've
Yes.
done live events where my first big one, I went in the hole probably $10,000 and it was devastating. It was just like, wait, what? I mean, I was new to that. It was a learning experience and it wasn't a retreat, it was a live event, but you can
Right.
do it very quickly. But I gave them everything. I mean, everybody had a blast there. Let me tell you what, everybody wanted to come to the next one, but I was a lot more careful after that when I did them.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up. And that's why that post program can be very valuable for the retreat attendees, but also for you financially.
Yeah.
It's like, because depending on how you priced your retreat,
Hmm.
then that gives you, hey, I still made money because I did this, if you wanted to keep the price down. But all I'm
Yeah.
saying is that will help. All of those things that you do, like bonuses. I did angel guide readings also at that was an additional cost, when
Right.
you do it within the retreat. So if they want a private work, those are other things that can help you grow your income with the retreats too.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay, we're coming to the end of our show. We could talk forever, I know it. And I hope that the listeners, I'm sure they got value out of everything you said and can pick up some of it, if not all of it, and use it into their retreat planning and ideas. So any last words?
Um, I go, love what you do, and value what you bring.
Yeah.
So really look at the numbers, look at the time you put into things, and price your retreats well, so you're compensated well. Yeah,
Yeah. Works both ways, right?
that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, with that, then we will see you all next time on the show. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thinking about hosting a retreat? Before you dive in, let's make sure you're really ready. Grab your free Are You Retreat Ready checklist and find out if you've got everything in place from your purpose and pricing to your audience and agenda. Don't guess. Get clear. This quick checklist will show you exactly where you stand and what you need to make your retreat a success. Click the link below in the show notes to grab your gift and take the first step toward hosting with confidence. Thanks for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time.